I think this is a pretty fitting time. I had done this a little while back and I've added to it as I've went along and as more things were revealed. But this is the different gates and looking through the Word, God's Word, finding hidden mysteries. Well, the first gate I did was the East Gate, and that's called the Gate of Mercy. And that gate has Joseph, Benjamin, and the tribe of Dan. And those names having meanings is to increase son of the right hand to judge. And if you think of the pillars of the earth, it's almost like a doorway. The two pillars stand at the whole earth. And it says in the Word that the pillars of the earth will be uncovered. And then you have stones, and they make an arch at the top, and the middle stone, that's the last one placed, is called the keystone. And that keystone holds up this arch because they'll remove the wood. If you've ever seen some of the older style brick buildings done, you'll see where the planks sat when they poured that. And they didn't use concrete. They used lime, which is where you get your stalactites that hang down. And you see those in caves also, if you've ever been caving. But 12 keys with 4 sticks and 3 doors on each side. So 12 keys, 12 tribes, 4 sides, it's a square, and 3 doors on each side. So you have 4 sides, 4 times 3 is 12, the 12 tribes. And this is what I've gotten in Ezekiel 44, 1 through 3. Ezekiel was led to the outer gate of the sanctuary that faces east, and he finds it shut. No one can open and enter through it except for the prince, the narrow gate, baptized by the Word to receive baptized by the Holy Spirit, because he's the Prince of Peace. So the East Gate is the Golden Gate, Prince of Peace, which is grace and mercy. That's undeserved. It's paid in full. It's a gift. Well, in verse 3, the gate is for the prince, and he sits and eats bread before the Lord, and he comes out the same way. So, I noticed Joseph's gate was mentioned in Ezekiel 48, and Israel means God prevails. It's not as the days of old. And then in Psalm 24, it talks about the King of Glory. So the next one, 2 Chronicles 31:14, and Kor, the son of Anna, the Levite, the porter towards the east gate, was over free will offerings of God to distribute by oblations of the Lord in the most holy things. The right hand of soft and pleasant he is saved. To hear the name of God promising to dwell in the tabernacle, to watch and guard, to officiate faithfulness, fidelity, steadfastness, trust, and faith, to confirm and bestow to the family a portion to grow in humility and humbleness. It's a process. It's a journey. That's what we're all on. And the sooner you obey the Father, the better things can be. Now, that's not always a guarantee, but with the checks and balances where we talked about with the Father, how he uses all of his creation and he's sovereign. He'll use things that he created, the evil and the good, remember? People are like, what? Why would he do? When the good are misaligned, there is recompense because he's just. There's no favoritism. Even if you were to be the son of the right hand, which I don't, that's not going to be just given to anybody. You have to go through certain processes for different titles, for different jobs. And if you're going to be, the world creates this hierarchy, and right now they have it cut off, and they try to claim to be up here. But if you've ever noticed, it's a great divide, and that is not filled yet. God's working on that part. And if you're going to think you're going to be at the top in God's kingdom, you're very wrong. You're the solid foundation. You're at the bottom, and you lift others up. So your weakest link is at the top, and the bottom is the base. Now, just like the rainbow where we talked about flipping it, and I'm sure if you flip it, there's meaning there too, but I haven't figured that one out yet. It's not been given. So, and it talks in Matthew 24:27, lightning from the east to the west. So you're not going to miss anything. Everybody will know. So if they tell you, go here, go there, no. And you can't run as Jonah. And we did that study, Jonah, Jonas, and there's some that do that, but you know what? God has a purpose. If they're going to do that, I can tell you, there's a lot that migrated here to our area. But let me tell you, with what's been done to create problems has backfired. Our elders in this land, from my witness of what I have seen with my own two eyes, they're the true heroes. They walked and took the path of Jesus and is with him. They can't be touched anymore. And I believe back in the days of Germany that they felt the same way. Because once you're gone and you're with the Father and you're not on this physical earth anymore like we are right now, can't touch them. Don't fear man. Fear God that can destroy both body, soul, and spirit. All right. This one's a long one. So, core in this verse, because I remember seeing something about the gainsaying core too. But core is a caller, a proclaimer, a crier, to call, to or invite, to proclaim, to say or speak. Imna, if I can pronounce it right, to go to the right, to choose the right hand of favor, and that's in Strong's 32:32. One of my numbers, my favorite numbers when I was young. The right hand side, south, Strong's 3:22-25. So, I talked about the three son of the right hand. That's on this side. To increase the son of the right hand to judge on the east gate. Well, each of these tribes have a name, a meaning to the name. Reuben is behold a son. Judah praised. Levi is joined to. Joseph is to increase. Benjamin is son of the right hand. Dan is a judge. And Simon is heard, like, he heard him. Ishar, there is recompense. Zebulun is exalted. Gad is true. Asher is son. And Naphtali is wrestling. So, and I kind of made, I guess I could turn it where it's upright so I don't make a mess of the video. I made the, the three doors. There's the four sides and the three doors on each side in each of the 12 tribes of Israel. So you got the north gate, you got the east gate, the south gate, and the west gate. And something I noticed, it talks about um, Adam being made from the dust of the earth, red man, because it means red. But red clay soil from the dust of the earth, when wet, forms into clay, shapeable and moldable. Red Clay State Park, east of Chattanooga, northwest of Cherokee Land Reservation. Also, Adam and Edom is one who sold their birthright. The debt is now paid. So if you ever pay attention and they tell you, and they laugh and mock you because they tell you without telling you, if that makes sense. But we're all coming together to figure all this stuff out. And, when you walk blind, you can fall into a pit. So what we do is help each other as the body to not fall in pits. Well, Washington, ton, and it says, with the Redskins, well, red man, Edom, which also refers Edom, but it's a Native American head for that football team. You see how they tell you? Proverbs 14:19, the evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. Oh yeah. Proverbs 31:23, her husband is known in the gates, and when he sitteth among the elders of the land. It's not physical, you guys. This is a metaphorical thing. The husbandman, the groom of the bridegroom. Her being the bride, husband, or he being the groom. Bridegroom is to reign. The two become one. So in Psalm 24:4, I wrote 24:7, lift up thy heads, O ye gates, even lift up ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. And in Zechariah 8:6, these the things that ye should do, speak every man truth to his neighbor, execute judgment of truth and peace in your gates. In your gates, that's your mouth. You speak and execute judgment of truth and judgment of peace. Do you understand where to judge is Dan? That judgment is not unrighteous, hateful judgment. It's a judgment of truth and judgment of peace. The gospel of peace, and your gates being your mouth. Any opening you have is a gate. And then this page, I don't know if it got torn out or if I just ran out of paper when I was writing and was like, dagnabbit, I need another piece of paper. So I did a bigger picture, and this one had the gates. But then I was thinking, okay, well, if God sits in the middle, and that's his throne, and then you have the four, the four different faces, the throne of God, and as it turned, it turned with him. It's the Ezekiel's wheels within wheels. And man also tells you about that one too. They talk about with your thinking, with your brain. You see the man sitting on top of the world with his hand on his chin thinking. Yeah, well, that's the world's version. So, that's the South Gate there. So, foundation. And the first row is to unify or collect wall or structure. And that would be the ruby, Strong's 124, Odam, redness, garnet, ruddy, flame color, fiery red. Sardis in Exodus 39:10 is where I found that. And if you think of red man, red, ruby, on the first row, well, let me pull where I can pull this. That would be Judah, true north. Okay, so the second row is to do again, to repeat, wall or structure. And this says turquoise, Strong's 5306, is shining to glisten. Sapphire, 5601, to scratch or to polish. The blue sapphire, maybe. Diamond, being Strong's 3095, the onyx, to strike or smite, overcome, to blanch. Third row is this third story cell, 1/3 part, third rank, third day. And Japheth, Strong's 3958, flowering, plant, gem, hyacinth, agate, Strong's 7618, to take captive, to lead away, to flash, or, oh shit, I should write these clear. It looks like stretches, but I can't tell. Amethyst is Strong's 308, to dream, insight, divine revelation. Fourth row talks about 4 as far as square. Strong 7243, to be 4 or to make 4, a divine order. So on the fourth row I should have put this like over to the side or at the top. Burrell is Strong's 8658, tarnish, seafaring, yellow jasper, onyx 7718, apple green, curios, person, or what is called the golden leek. Jasper, Strong's 3471, to polish, clear as crystal. All right. And I did that already, so I'm going to set that over there. So the next one is the north gate, and that would be true north, fine linen, the bride. Well, Reuben, Judah, and Levi are at the north gate. Behold a son, praised, joined to. And it could be a different order. I just put the names in the meaning of the names in here. So in Ezekiel 44:4, Ezekiel went to the north gate, and he saw the glory of the Lord fill the house, and he fell upon his face. The Lord said to Son of Man, to mark well and behold with thine eyes, to hear with thy ears concerning the ordinances of the houses of the Lord, and all the laws thereof. Mark well the entering in the house, and every going forth. So there's a warning that is given to the rebellious, and that's in 6-13. Those entering and exiting the gate shall be keepers in charge of the house and service, and all that shall be done. And they can only enter with fine linen. No wool is to become of them, to minister in the gates of the inner court and within. Well, that would probably, I would say, like I was trying to do here, like the inner court of the square, and having the different tribes. When coming out from the inner court, their linen is to lay in the holy chambers and chain their garments wherewith they minister. They are not to sanctify the people with their garments. And they teach the people between holy and profane, discern between unclean and clean. And then I noticed it said in controversy. So there is a religion, confusion, that has a thing they speak of, the great controversy. Makes you wonder if it's right or not. But they shall stand in judgment, and shall judge it according to my judgments, and shall divide the land by lot. Just balances. Now remember, his judgments is judging peace and judging truth. You just speak the truth set the record straight. That's been said for quite some time. So also with the north gate, in Ezekiel 46:9 speaks of entering the north gate, but to come out of the south gate in the solemn feast for the people of the Lamb. So in Ezekiel 8:3 speaks of the being lifted up from the earth in the visions of God to the city of peace, the door of the inner gate that looks towards the north, seat of the image of jealousy, which provoked to jealousy, and stretched out hand to build by the hand of acquiring blossom, flowering purple, but in the Holy of Holies being pure white, appears as lilac on the bow. And that, because that would be purple considered royalty. You know, they put the purple garment on Jesus, mocking him. But the second time, they laughed then. They're not going to laugh this time. They told us that too about, 5 years ago? So, described as cords born, we wrestle and struggle within by perseverance and pursuit of blessing and victory, just as Jacob. And we don't fight for victory. We fight from victory. Victory is already won. We're just bringing it about. And it's for everybody, not just a chosen few. Esther and Moses went before the king, or before God. Moses went before God. Esther went before the king, pleading for mercy. Because they wanted to destroy them. And you can't destroy those people. The blessings of earth will go away. And God will not ordain that. So, cords of a man, Hosea 4:11, and Jeremiah 31:3 describes taking Ephraim, which is double straights, ash heaps, but can also be doubly fruitful. It's your choice. Jesus said, "Did I not say ye are as gods?" Meaning what we choose is the destiny, the path that we chose, that God knew we would take from the beginning, because he knows from the beginning to the end. Alpha, Omega, beginning, end. So Strong's 2256 is cords, measuring cord or line, pain, sorrow, travail, pang, pains of travail, destruction. So Strong's 120, I believe that says in Hebrew, of man, dust of the earth, ready to be read. Think of test of faith, allowed by your measure given by God. So what you go through, God knows what you can endure, and enduring and persevering and trying to do right, it's worth it. He can pour out more blessings than we can ever imagine. So in Strong's 5688, the rope is intertwined. Rope is a both. Ab, father, off, oath. A both, ab. Well, if you do the oath, father of the oath. Love, a harbor. 160 in Strong's, to love. In Jeremiah 31:2, confirms those who survive the sword will find favor in the wilderness, and he will give rest when God prevails. Verse 3, the Lord appears saying, I have loved you with an everlasting love, therefore I have drawn you with loving devotion. So in Strong's 26:17, kindness, mercy, loyalty, faithfulness, love, mercy, and compassion. When these people were at rock bottom and fled to Jesus, followed Jesus, he turned and had compassion on them because they were ready. And we're to give that too. If you are of him, you do what he does. We are to copy what he does. And I think I'll do the other two gates. Or did I just, which two did I do? I did the east gate and the north gate. I'll do another video of the south gate and the west gate. Because if you go in the north, you're going to come out in the south. If you go in the east, you're going to come out of the west. Unless it says to go back out the gate that you came in. So I hope this was interesting. I really am curious about the different tribes, the box, the gate, the throne of God, the four creatures. I mean, finding these treasures. And then when you think of that, and then you think of the different rows of the different, man calls birthstones, but those are concerning different tribes. And what those mean, well, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, that's the ephod. High priest wore. I'm going to tell you, God's awesome. He is so fascinating. And learning more about him, once you start understanding and it starts clicking, you just want more. You want to understand more and get closer to him, because let me tell you, his love and his peace he can give you surpasses anything of this earth. It's not as intense as I felt when I was being in the presence, but, when I passed or died from here. But, man, let me tell you, he can give you love and let me tell you, the hardest thing I'm learning is loving my enemies and doing good when they're lashing out. If you're just being mean, that's one thing. But when they're literally viciously throwing their bitter gall on you, or wormwood, I just ask him for his heart. They don't understand. They're scared. And we're to lead these people. God doesn't want anybody destroyed, no matter who they are or what walk of life they come from. And those who won't receive it, dust your feet and walk away. It's a testimony of a witness against them. And pray that what they go through will at least save their soul.